You're listening to Write the Book Now interview and podcast show with host and creator Dr. Sharon H. Porter.
The Write the Book Now's guest is Joy Elán. Joy is an author of 6 books, and she is from Oakland and Berkeley, California. Born with a hearing loss, she has been wearing hearing aids since she was 15 months. She went through life prepared for what she would face and has smiled throughout everything she has been through. She successfully overcame a good number of them as she's far exceeded low expectations that others had for her, including having earned her bachelor's degree from UC Berkeley and master's degree from Stanford University. As a spoken word artist, she won 3rd place in Oakland's Got Talent in June 2014 for her spoken word piece, I'm a Survivor. She won twice at the National Poetry Awards for Poetry Video of the Year 2015 and Poet of the Year 2016. Joy has received Table of Honor in some of the International Book Festival categories. Currently, she works with youth in Oakland and Berkeley, California, and performs spoken word at different places in the United States, sharing her gift and inspiring other people. And now, the interview with author Joy Elán. Hello, everyone. This is Dr. Sharon, educator, author, entrepreneur, and speaker, and host and creator of Write the Book Now interview and podcast show. I am joined today by my guest, author Joy Elán, and she is the author of Life is a Canvas. Author Joy Elán, welcome to Write the Book Now.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. I'm so excited to have you here. You are just a delight. We heard your bio, but I want you to give an opportunity to share who Author Joy Elán really is.
I am a writer from Oakland, born and raised. I have a hearing loss. I was born with a disability, but I didn't let that stop me. I overcame so many obstacles, and I learned to be the voice for the voiceless, and I use my writing as a way to stand up and fight against injustices.
I love that. And this book, Life is a Canvas, is one of 2 books in a sequel. And I know that the book after that was Holding On to My Pride, but this is the book that you started with main character Allegra Johnson. Tell us a little bit about Allegra Johnson.
So Allegra Johnson is me, basically, in my 20s. And the title, Life is a Canvas, there's a quote that says, the best way to create something is to create it yourself. The best way to predict your future is to create it yourself. And so I said, life is a canvas. You can make it whatever you want it to be. And so that's me, in a sense, going back in time and changing some things that really happened in my life and changing it to an empowering moment. So in the book, it takes place when I was right after I graduated from Stanford. I got my master's, but I wanted to be a business owner, and that was always a dream of mine. And although I'm not a current business owner like that, I went back. I said, well, I could write a story about me owning a business. So that's how that book came about and the steps she did to become an entrepreneur.
Wow. And, I just love the fact life is a canvas and the whole meaning behind that, because truly we do make it what we want to make it. And it's up to us. So I do absolutely love that. So let's go in to talk a little bit about some of the things that you wrote in A Life is a Canvas, because as you said, this is really your story years ago in your 20s. And you talk a lot about, really going forth and doing the things that you want to do. Can you talk to us a little bit about, like in chapter 4, you were actually with Leela. So I want you to frame for us who Leela is in the character and how did you all come together and what you were doing all throughout the book?
So Leela is my best friend, who is really my best friend in real life. And she and I, and this really did happen. I kept a journal. This is why this story,
Wow.
the parts with me and Leela are definitely, they really happened.
Wow.
And I wrote a story around it. Like, we did travel to Europe. And so she was really study abroad, and I was done with school. I had graduated in real life a few years early than my friend. So I had time off, and they were going to study abroad. I didn't get a chance because I was so busy trying to be in and out of school. But my best friend Leela, when she went overseas, and I went to join her on my own.
Wow.
I just literally this, and we're talking about back in 2003 when we didn't have Facebook
Right.
So we really did use Yahoo Messenger to connect, because she was in Denmark, so I think she was 8-9 hours ahead. So we had to find time on the Yahoo Messenger to connect and plan our trip. And once I got there, it was really eye-opening because it was around the time after 9/11 when it happened, and there was resentment towards Americans in Europe. And so it was, but by us being people of color, we were able to kind of camouflage that. Like, they didn't know what we were. They couldn't tell we were Americans. So it was really an intense time when we really went there in 2003. So we had just went to war or something like that. So to kind of relate that history of what was happening at that time while traveling, it was just it was wonderful. But I also had the beauty of traveling and getting away from America to see another side of the world. Something.
Wow.
I mean, I don't know how many black people can say, I had a passport at 20 and I was gone. How many of us can really say we went overseas by ourselves?
Wow.
Or have the money to do so.
Wow.
So that was my compliment. That was yes, that's what I'm saying. You make your life what you want to see.
I love it. I absolutely love it. And so this book is really filled with, I guess, the different people who did come into your life. In chapter 15, and probably before that, you talk about Jeremiah. And so I want you to just give a little information. Of course, we're not trying to give them all the goodies. We want them to go and buy the book.
Right. So, Jeremiah is a love interest of mine. And we end up, in a sense, possibly working together because it's funny how I say connections work, how energy work. You don't know who's going to come into your life. So this book with him, it represents a man that was in my life at that time, back when I was younger. But just the possibilities of finding love while also being independent and not necessarily scaring a man away because you are independent. So that's what he is to me. Like, he embraces the fact that I'm out there handling business, but I also know how to be a woman, a lady, and let him take care of me as well.
I love it. So tell me, what was your favorite chapter to write? And I know that you didn't title your chapters, but at what part of the story did you really find pleasure in writing?
The one taking the trip to Europe.
Yeah,
that was the best part because I kept a journal. I really kept a journal. So what I did was to incorporate that into the book. I got my journal out and I read it, and I had to laugh. I would be like, "Oh my gosh, I do remember I did this. Oh my gosh, I really did do this. Oh my!" Like most of the stories, that part in Europe, pretty much, I would say 90% happened. 10% of it was fiction. So it was just so fun to live that moment and recreate it and share that story. It's kind of like
Wow.
how Stella got a groove back, how she's retelling her story when she went to Jamaica. So it's
Right.
the same thing. It was just like, oh, my God, this is funny. And even my friend who read it, she said, oh, my gosh, I forgot we did that. I said, yeah, I know. She said, I remember that. So it was just, it's like, oh, my God, this is embarrassing, but it's definitely worth telling. It's what makes story writing so much fun.
I love it. So you were keeping a journal. So at what point did you say, hey, I need to write this book now? I need to publish this work. What point did you say that?
What made me do that?
Yes.
So I had this book in my head. And actually, this book was really written after I wrote my first poetry book. And after the first poetry book was done, I said, that's it? It was published? I said, that is it? I just wrote it and self-published? Really? That's it? So I said, I can do this book now, this novel. So I wrote it. And I did this book in like 3 weeks. And then I left it alone because I knew I was a new writer at the time. I wanted to get better at writing or even sharing that story. So then after I had wrote a few books, I said, okay, I'm ready to do this novel and really make it what it needs to be. Because I've been reading more and more and like comparing how other writers, they write their stories, the quotation marks and all of that. So then I said, okay, I'm ready. And I wrote it. I started editing it a couple of years ago, 2015. And I was just like, yes, it's ready. This is finally me breaking away from being known as a poet, because that's what people are knowing me as. Oh, dude, you're the spoken word artist. You're a poet. And I'm like, no, I'm a writer. So then I said, no, I got to break away from this poet title and show my writing on the creative side. And that's why I said, I got to do this book.
Wow. I pulled it out.
I pulled it out and just said, it's time. It's time to set you out.
Wow, I absolutely love it. So where can they find Life is a Canvas? How can people purchase this book?
This book can be purchased on Amazon.com. You can just type in my name. I have my own little author page on Amazon, and it has all my books. And you can find me on social media and my website by typing in authorjoyelan.com or Instagram, Twitter, at Author Joy Elán, and then on Facebook, type in Author Joy Elán, but you gotta space it, and then you'll find me. But yeah, I'm Googleable. I'm Googleable, and I have a YouTube channel from performing poetry.
Oh, awesome. We definitely have to check that out. Awesome. So what is a message that you would like to send to the readers and to the listeners of Write the Book Now?
Oh, man, just write. Don't even worry about editing it, the content. Just write. Just release it. And worry about that stuff later when you're editing it. But the main thing is when you write, just like a journal, just write it all. How you feeling, the anger, the happiness, whatever it is. Write it all. And then you will feel better when you release it first. Because for me, writing is therapy. I love it. I can't afford a therapist. So it's easier for me to just get some pen and paper and just write it out. And then I'm done. I feel better. It's a good release.
I love it. She says, write it and release it. I love it. Well, Author Joy Elán, I want to say thank you so much for taking the time to be a guest on Write the Book Now. Thank you so much.
And thank you.
And yes, thank you so much, everyone, for joining another episode of Write the Book Now interview and podcast show. This is Dr. Sharon, host and creator. And as always, as I remind you, don't wait. Write the book now.
Thank you for joining another episode of Write the Book Now. If you are contemplating writing a book, don't wait. Write the book now with Dr. Sharon. Contact her at info@writethebooknow.com. Also, take a moment to follow us on social media at Write the Book Now.